coming to you from Cat and Fan Gamer TV. When last we left off, I was going to grind AP on all of my equipments for my party, my peoples. So we got the last ones, I believe, were the oak staff, and I got that all maxed, and then we also had the needle fork. I got high tide maxed. So everybody's got all stars on the AP on all things that they can equip right now. My levels rose significantly. I was level 19 before I knew it. I didn't really plan on that, but you know, that's it's all for building the bank. What we have, and if you see in the bottom right, we have 155,000 gil now. There's one last thing that we need to do before we go fight this boss battle in Burmecia. And that is the frog catching minigame. We've done this once before, and we're coming back again. Now, in the footage that I taped, I stopped at 5 frogs. I'm gonna say you probably shouldn't do that, because there's enough time that that passes in the middle of all of the game, and story-wise, where you can get 7 frogs when you first come to the pond. Because here's how the rewards play out. If you catch 2 frogs in the minigame, that's when you get your ore. That's that first thing that we got. That's our first reward. So then when you get 5 frogs, you get an ether. So I stopped there. But the thing is, at 9 frogs, you get a silk robe, which we could still get had we stopped at 5. But we want the elixir, which is 15 frogs. And the reason that's a problem is because there's only ever 8 frogs at a pond in a given time. So we're getting our 9 frogs reward here. Quail's gonna give us a silk robe. So what we want is to be able to get 15 frogs before we leave for the Burmesian battle. Because after the boss fight in Burmecia, we're going to switch over to being in charge of Garnet and Steiner's party. So there's going to be a long time where we'll have, you know, time to basically let this frog pond build up with more frogs, and we'll be away and we won't have access to it. So with all that time devoted to Garnet and Steiner, this is a good time to just completely clear out the pond. Now people will say, don't catch the golden frog, leave the golden frog. That's fine. The golden frog does make progress quicker in your pond. If you're going to be hovering over the same area for a long time, then you don't want to catch the golden frog. I did the first time just to get that trophy. If I didn't need the trophy, I may have just left the golden frog there and not dealt with it, because I do want to get as many frogs as I can as fast as possible. But here's how the mechanics of the frog pond work. People think that the golden frog is able to change sexes or is sexually ambiguous. I've recently read a document that says that it's not. It's actually, it's either male or female, but you can't tell from the game text just by catching it, because all it says is, oh, you found a golden frog. So we got our elixir for the 15 frogs, and now we're done with the pond here, so that's good. So the way that it works is that frog is either going to be male or female, and the only way that you can really check it is by leaving it in a pond with a male and a female, you go outside and you save, and then you come back in and you catch or eat either the male or the female. Now there's another thing that happens called cannibalism. It is a real thing in the game. It may not be frogs eating each other. It may just be frogs exiling themselves from, you know, the marsh. So frogs will either cannibalize or run away or whatever, but you'll have if you leave only male frogs in the pond and you eat the last remaining female, then the next time you come back to the pond, even if it was full of frogs, the next time you're there, it will have nothing. It will be completely deserted and desolate because the female is gone. Likewise, if you kill the only male, all the females will either cannibalize or desert. So, that's a thing. You never want to leave the pond without one of each gender. Unless, of course, you're cashing out like we are here because we're not going to be back for a very long time. So, to be able to tell if the golden frog is a male or a female, what you do is you leave a male and a female green frog with it, and then you go outside and you save, and you come back, and then you eat one frog. If everything deserts, then you know that you have two frogs of the same gender, so that you know what the golden frog is. So what the golden frog does is it actually, there's levels to frogs, and this is unseen script in the game. This is just what the game has decided. So your frogs go from level 1 to 15. A level 1 to 4 frog is a tadpole, and then a level 5 to 10 frog is a baby frog. No, a level 5 to 9 frog is a baby frog. At level 10 they start being an adult, and that's when they start being able to reproduce with other frogs in the pond. So they also reproduce monogamously. I hadn't known that before, so if you leave, say, one female and two males in the pond on purpose, or one male and two females, it's actually wasteful. You can harvest that extra male or female frog. You only need one pair. It would be better to leave two pairs than to leave a pair and a third wheel, for the sake of argument. So, so yeah, basically, frogs begin being adult at level 10. If you have a golden frog in there, frogs can start being an adult at level 2 or 4 or 5. So golden frogs have like 3 different presets of how quickly they allow frogs in their pond to level up, and sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a really good one, sometimes you get a super good one. So that's why the golden frog is important to keep in there. That's how to tell what the gender of the golden frog actually is, and that's it's advice telling you you don't need 3 frogs in a pond ever. You just need one male and one female. Also, if you eat them all, you take them all out of the pond like we just did, then they will grow back. Like, it'll take a lot more time, but you won't totally nuke your population for the rest of the game. So that's the frog primer. So we're gonna save here. This battle marks what would be the end of Disc 1 in the original game on PlayStation 1. It was a 4-disc long game, and so what we're doing right now is we're going to the final battle in Disc 1. And there's a lot of stuff to buy in Burmecia. You can buy the Needle Fork, which is not available in Trino for the Garnet and Steiner party. You may want to buy that, but it's pretty expensive at 3,100 per pop here. There's also like Barbet, Bronze Vest, Linen Cuirass, stuff like that, Magus Hat, things that haven't been available in shops before. I'm gonna go ahead and basically advise you against buying anything in Burmecia at all. I mean, we could buy this Barbet for Freya, we could buy the Magus Hat for Quina and Zidane, but actually a Barbet sort of sounds... Well, we'll deal with that later. I wonder what it teaches. I'm just gonna buy one Barbet just to put on Freya. If you want to buy stuff in Burmecia just to equip it on a character, then go ahead. But what I'm not gonna do... Okay, so that's just a higher stat, so that's not even necessary. So I have this whole basically this printout that I found from an online FAQ. I've got sheets and sheets of papers that tell me how many of these items in a shop are needed for you to buy to be able to have one of everything by the end of the game. So for instance, it says, you know, I need 7 needle forks and you know, a certain number of barbets, because some of those items are going to be eaten up in the synthesis process to make more powerful items. So we're not going to do that in Burmecia, because in Trino I will have most of these items available to me to buy in a shop, and then the needle fork, while it goes away in Trino, we will get it back the second we come back to Zidane's party and the story shifts to going to Clara. So there will be needle forks available in Clara. So basically anything you can get in Burmecia is something you can also get later, and a short time later at that. So we don't need to really do any shopping here for the purposes of having one of every item by the end of the game. There's nothing missable here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fight this battle against Beatrix. This is the famous you know, teeth gnashingly hard to steal from boss. It's one of the few in the game. Well, she's got a bunch of different items, and one of them is so hard to steal that it's like a 1 in 128 chance to steal it. Now we're not gonna waste time trying to steal that. What we want is the chain plate. She has a phoenix down, a chain plate, and a mithril sword. So a mithril sword would be nice to steal, but I believe that the mithril sword is the one that's 1 out of 128 to steal, and the mithril sword is able to be bought as soon as you get Dagger and Steiner's party in Trino. So we're not gonna stick around to steal the mithril sword as long as we can get the chain plate. And I mean, probably the Phoenix Down is probably gonna be the easiest one to steal. Then we're gonna be okay to fight Beatrix and leave one of the steals on the table. So what I did there just now was there was a text option to talk to Freya or to leave her alone. You kind of want to leave Freya alone. That's the only way that the scene progresses. It's counterintuitive, but it works. Heard rumors that Brain had set her sights on her kingdom. Freya's heard of Beatrix before. The cold-blooded knight that shows no mercy. So here's a flashback. I hear there are many fierce warriors out in the world, some more powerful than even I. And this is Freya's boyfriend, Sir Fratley, who already knows of Beatrix. And Fratley's going away on a journey because he knows that his nation is falling behind in power. So I guess he's going out to forge alliances or get his skills up more. I don't know. But she's going to be heartbroken that he's leaving. And this is why she hasn't been home. Because he's talking about once he completes his journey, he'll return to Burmecia. And she makes him promise to return, but he never did. So she's been out ever since, trying to find her lost love. And that's why she hasn't been back. It's a heartbreaking story. Freya is probably one of the more compelling characters, I think, in the game for that reason. So here's a bad guy we haven't seen yet. And this almost was a bad girl. If you can't tell from the attire that's worn by this mysterious man, they were thinking of maybe even making this a female character. But I guess in development they decided it was good to have it be a boy, so... So they're trying to kill the king of Burmecia. Rats often look for new homes when they sense an earthquake. They probably moved to Sandy Treehouse by now. Clara. That's that sandstorm in the middle of the desert that we just found. So that's the tree that's surrounded by the sandstorm. And if they don't find a way to break the sandstorm, they won't be able to attack Clara. So it's a safe place to be for the king right now. But Kuja thinks that he has something he can do about that. So it sounds like Kuja's going to try to do something about the windstorm, and then he wants the Alexandrian soldiers and the Black Mages to all be there in full force. This is looking like a bad situation. So they're all Burmesians originally by birth. A trivial conflict is how it's explained away, but how trivial could it be if it prompted the 100-year separation of a subculture from their parent culture. I mean, it had to have been something. I think they called it trivial because they were too lazy to figure out what the conflict actually was. Or perhaps they knew what it was and they decided that it wouldn't add to the story enough and it would only, you know, create more confusion. So they decided to cut it and just pretend it was a trivial matter. Either way, we now have a Burmesian soldier who's willing to lay down his life. You know what? I'm actually kind of... I'm kind of mad right now. Because I forgot to do something, you guys. I forgot to unequip all of my items that are unique at this time. So we're gonna go through basically a script of how to run this battle. First, you want to set up Rice's Wind so you get regeneration. Then you want to set up Mighty Guard so that all of Beatrix's abilities hit for less damage. Then you want to have Vivi cast slow, and then you want to have Zidane steal. The reason Vivi should cast slow is not just to cut down on the damage that Queenie can inflict to the party, but it's also to extend the time of the battle. So we got our Phoenix down here. The reason we want to extend the length of the battle is because the battle does end at a certain timer. So once the timer ticks down, then Beatrix will just end the fight immediately. So it really doesn't even matter how much damage we do, which is why I'm not going to waste MP from Vivi trying to use any damaging spells, because literally the only thing that Vivi is good for in this fight is casting slow. So we got the chain plate, so this would have been an easy fight if I was going to keep this save data. Would have been just fine. This is frustrating. The next time I come through here, they probably will try to give me some trouble getting the chain plate, and it's probably going to be super annoying. So basically, you want to just keep using Mighty Guard and Rice's Wind. Actually, I'm going to not, though, because I'm not saving the outcome of this battle anyhow. So basically, I'm just gonna steal Zidane until the end of the battle. I'm actually now regretting having cast slow, because I kind of want this battle to hurry up and be over. But yeah, I think I have like some robes on Vivi that are unique at this time, and Garnet can learn something from them, and I don't want Vivi to wear this after, you know, I don't want him to still be wearing it after the Beatrix battle, because I want to be able to pass that item along to the Garnet and Steiner party. Basically, whatever stays in your inventory will be passed to the next one. So here's the way she ends the battle. She casts Stock Break, and everyone just is reduced to 1 HP immediately. How ridiculously weak. Is there anyone who is worthy of facing me? Another filthy rat, and so she's talking about Freya, the Burmesian. This boy could become a problem. So Quino we don't know if is a boy or a girl. We know Vivi and Zidane are boys. Clara is the filthy, Freya is the filthy rat he was talking about. He does deal in black mages, so perhaps he's talking about Vivi, who knows? This is one of the coolest themes in the game musically. And how legit is that awesome dragon? I mean, say what you want about his costume. I mean, I wish I could change it, but the rest of what makes Kuja a really bad villain in this game is just, you know, his music, his dragon. It's all really bad. It's all really awesome. Oh, you mean about Burmesia? I heard they were attacked by an army of soldiers wearing pointy hats. Instead, I'm riding away in this stinking place. Why would someone start a war? The guy who passed through here, the huge bag, did he look suspicious with you? No, I don't think so. Weren't you the one who thought he was suspicious? You know me, I'm always like that. I'm telling you, people who eat pickles are nice people. I envy him. Guys with pickles are the only pickles I can't eat. You're really confusing, you know that? Biggs and Wedge, man. Why do you think I ended up here? Well, they'll never see the front lines in Final Fantasy IX. So we have the we have this here. Conductor said we'll be arriving at the summit station soon. Steiner doesn't believe that Queen Brain is capable of anything evil. He's taken on the role of being an underling, and he's committed to it. So don't ask questions, just shoot and ask questions later. Or better yet, let your queen ask all the questions and, you know, don't ever question authority. That's Steiner's conundrum here. So I'm gonna go ahead and play out this scene for you guys. We're gonna get to a save Moogle, and then I'll go ahead and redo the Beatrix boss battle, and I'll meet you back at the save Moogle. But just so you guys don't miss anything, I'm gonna go ahead and make a video of this here. So we won't be cutting until we've explored, yeah, we know how the cable cars work. You can answer no, and you can, you know, have him give you a spiel or whatever if you want, but... Okay, so this must be the rest area. Let's gather information while we wait for the car to Alexandria. Okay, so here's the Moogle. Alright, so we're gonna pretend we saved here, and I'll be back again with the things unequipped from Vivi and Zidane and party that I want to be able to transfer to Garnet. So see, like if I want to put something on Garnet, we have a cotton robe, we have a silk robe, we have a bronze vest, but we don't have the magician's robe, so we won't be able to learn anything with Garnet. And that's going to be a huge shame because we're going to be spending a lot of time in this part of the game trying to do the cotton robe trick once more, build up our money reserves back up again. There's a huge auction coming up. It's a huge gill sink, and so we need to be able to have all of the equipment available, because Garnet and Steiner are going to have so much gill grinding to do that, you know, we just might as well have them learn all their abilities while we're in this part of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and I'll meet you guys back up when I get through the Beatrix boss battle with everything unique at this point, unequipped, and I'll be back at the Moogle here. Thanks guys, this was StiltzkinKupo84 with Cat and Fam Gamer TV. Go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe, make my daughter famous.